We're not here to be the dominant MOBA in the industry. We're here to fill a niche, if anything, and we accept that. We're fine with that. Heroes of Newerth Reborn will not be for everyone. So my alias online, I go by BreakyCPK. I'm actually right now my technical title is Director of Communications for Kongor Studios, which are the creators of Heroes of Newerth Reborn. The game officially went down. I died, I guess you could officially say, back in 2022, I believe. That was when the servers shut down. Garena made the decision there to go ahead and take the game down. But with that said, over time, there was a community effort by the name of Project Kongor that actually started to bring back Heroes of Newerth, actually. Again, in the sense of a community effort, some private servers, and kind of showed that, you know what, maybe this game isn't as dead as people suggested. There's definitely interest still there. People want to still play the game. So I would say that was at least kind of a spark of inspiration of like, interesting, you know, there is still interest in the game. Now, I personally wasn't involved in the ultimate decision to bring back Heroes of Newerth Reborn, but what I know from it, essentially, the legal rights to use the licensing for Heroes of Newerth were, gained from Garena to create this project about a couple of years ago now. And just with that mindset of, you know what, HoN still has a lot left in it, and there's a future for Heroes of Newerth, and a not necessarily a different vision, but a more evolved version that we want to give a go ahead and try. And so it's really a passion project in a lot of sense as well, with a lot of these people coming together from the community and from former S2 games to kind of, in a sense, kind of create what we like to also say is this is a 5-year patch in the works for the game. Because 4 to 5 years since it's really gotten a significant patch, and that's also how we see it with Heroes of Newerth Reborn. One of the bigger things with HoN Reborn, as people will notice right off the bat, it only has just over 90 heroes now, I believe, on HoN Reborn, where the original HoN had close to, I want to say, 140 heroes by the end. So, quite a large hero pool. And it was decided early on in the project that we wanted to have a condensed hero pool just simply for design purposes. And frankly, there are a lot of heroes that maybe weren't the best for the game, in the big picture. And over time, understandably, like every MOBA goes through, heroes are kind of just continue to put in just to kind of continue to put in, right? You need more content, so it's an easy thing to put in for content. So, sure, especially in the later parts, there's some heroes that are maybe stand out and deserve to be there. But let's be honest, there are also heroes that do feel out of place and maybe make the game a little more difficult to balance around, etc. So we chose to go with the select 90 here. Now, with that said, there are more heroes that are going to continue to be coming in from the original Heroes of Newerth, as we've always stressed. Probably not all of them, but at least some of them. We are a new studio, and it is a new game, so there is that fine line to balance. I get it, but we definitely do have plans, and there is actually, I can say, one in the works that we have been even testing recently internally. That is a brand new, fresh, new hero. So there will be a mix of, there will be a lot of the some popular old heroes returning, but there will be some new heroes coming as well. I don't know if I would be involved in the project, frankly, if that wasn't going to be the case. The goal and the passion and the idea behind it was that we want to give an outlet for people to play our game in a competitive atmosphere and truly compete for something, for prize pools at all different levels. So we definitely have goals and ambitions for supporting the esports scene and the competitive side. And in fact, we announced recently a $100,000 tournament, of course, as part of our marketing efforts to go into open beta here. No further details just yet. I wish I could provide more, but during the open beta, the plan is we are going to run that $100,000 tournament to kind of kick things off. I mean, that'll just be the beginning of what we have in mind. We understand that they're juggernauts. They've been around forever. We're not here to be the dominant MOBA in the industry. We're here to fill a niche, if anything, and we accept that. We're fine with that. Heroes of Newerth Reborn will not be for everyone. And we are completely fine with that. But, we still feel that it's also going to be able to be more than successful enough to stick around for another however long years that we got ahead of us here. It's not a Dota 2. It's not a League of Legends. It's very fast-paced. I would say it's faster-paced. The lethality is higher. You can feel impactful no matter whatever role you're playing, from the hard support all the way, of course, to the hard carry. And there's no doubt that Sprinkle, one of the more unique things with Heroes of Newerth is the emote system. And when it comes to the sprinkling that toxicity a little bit, at least in a healthy amount, dare I say. So the answer, continue to give on that, is never say never. Now, with that said, when it comes to the platform it's on at this time, being with Juvio, intertwined with Juvio, that is the focus of the project right now for Heroes of Newerth Reborn, being working with Juvio and working hand in hand. Now, with that said, again, it's not an absolute that it'll never be a part of Steam, but we really got to keep it real with the community, as we've been doing, and very transparent on that fact. We have our reasons for not being on Steam right now, and there is no immediate future that will be the case. We are confident, and frankly, we feel like with this open beta launch, especially with the interest and the players that we did have within the game, and the accounts created and the activity throughout this first week, internally for us at least, it has proven that we do got something special here, despite not being on Steam. Certainly, we're being extra active with updates through the beta phase, as you would expect with any game during that phase. We absolutely plan to have content updates throughout, and in fact, there's several things in terms of like game modes. Has been a popular request and a question that's been brought up by our community, because right now there's normal Force of Caldivar, and then there's Mid Wars, of course. We absolutely want to have more game modes, from like turbo mode-esque game to an unranked play to Grimm's Crossing, the 3 versus 3 map, to Devo Wars, etc. Like we absolutely want to have more and more, but stuff like that will likely come post official launch and then just throughout time. Again, so it is a live service game. That's the mentality that here at Kongor Studios, that's what we're living by and work with for the game. So to ultimately answer your question, yeah, expect updates for a long time. I can't sit here and say specifically the consistency, but there will be many updates to come. I'm feeling good. Again, it is a mix. I don't want to sit here and say, everything's just happy and excited, but because obviously there are some things that we understand, and we knew this going into open beta, that there's going to be improvements that need to be made, and we have been making improvements. We've been doing our best to be transparent with the community. So, but absolutely, and I genuinely mean this, we are thrilled. We are thrilled because open beta was a point of really telling where this project was potentially going to go. And I can safely say, because of what we've seen with open beta, there's a very bright future with Heroes of Newerth Reborn. And internally, we feel that, and hopefully the community sees that as well. And it's getting us going, and knowing that we do have a pretty awesome shot here at doing something special with this game. We're going to do the Rockstar method. We're just going to keep delaying and no. Right now, what we've been announcing for the roadmap is Q1 of 2026. Technically, it's Q4 of 2025 / Q1 of 2026. But I mean, I'll just say that here, that it's going to be Q1 2026, what we're aiming for right now for official release. So that kind of gives us to that early March timeframe. Again, obviously, we'll keep updated on any changes there, but that is our goal right now, and that's been our goal for a while in terms of the official release for the game, the 1.0 version.